In today's video, I thought we'd take a look at two machines I was able to find locally for a combined $90 Canadian. I have a PowerMac G4 on the left and an iMac on the right. It is an Intel iMac. So let's take a look at what I got. I have hooked up the iMac to power. It is not in the greatest of physical shape. There's some residue over here, so we put a sticker. And unfortunately, it looks like these are all little gouges in the screen. I'm very hopeful that it'll work perfectly fine. I believe it is a first generation Intel iMac. So I'm gonna hook up a mouse and keyboard and let's boot it up. Okay, mouse and keyboard are hooked up. Just gonna reach underneath. 3, 2, 1. Good sign. And Apple logo, so it chimes, so I'm assuming the motherboard works perfectly fine. And now let's take a look to see just what operating system it's running. Okay, so mouse cursor here. Definitely, you can easily see the damage on the screen. That is unfortunate. Let's click guest account for now, just so we could take a look at the specs of the machine. So I can hear the hard drive. Everything seems to be going okay. Not going to connect it up to the internet just yet. And any guesses? Okay, so it's like I said, it is a 2 gigahertz Intel Core Duo with 1 gig of RAM. So the unfortunate thing is this is limited, I believe, to Snow Leopard. Let's go through. So it's a DVD-R. The graphics are a 128 megabyte X1600 Radeon X1600. It is 2 sticks of 512 megs RAM. I'm going to see if I can upgrade it myself. And the hard drive is 250 gigabytes. So for this Mac, I paid about $20. It should be perfectly good. Maybe I'll replace the screen sometime, but for now, I'm plenty happy. So let's take a look at the other machine. Here is the second machine, the PowerMac G4. Now from the outside, it's nothing amazing. I mean, there is a zip drive, either CD-ROM or DVD-ROM. The specs on the back, it's supposed to be a 400 megahertz PowerPC processor with the DVD-ROM actually. So 128 megs of SD RAM, 20 gig hard drive. Yeah, so it's pretty kitted out for, I believe, one of the first generation G4s. Now when I looked at this ad though, the first couple of pictures didn't really strike me, but what I saw in one of the photographs was the reason I picked this machine up. Now I paid about 70 Canadian for this, and in about a second you'll see why. So here we go. This is the reason why I paid up for this machine. Now, if you haven't seen it already, it has nothing to do with the graphics card, nothing to do, well, the RAM on the bottom. It is this. This is definitely not the original CPU. It's a dual fan. So this has been upgraded at some point. So what I thought we'd do is boot it up and take a look to see what exactly this has been upgraded to. Machine is hooked up and ready to go in 3, 2, 1. I hear the hard drive spinning up. The green light is on the front of the machine. Let's see if the graphics card works. Apple logo. Now, place your bets. If you think you know what this is, please leave a comment below saying what CPU you think is installed in this. My best guess is a dual 1 gigahertz. Okay, so that took a lot longer than I had expected. Unfortunately, I could not get through the password, but there was an installation for server built into the drive, so I went through installation, and here we are. So let's take a look at the About This Mac. I'll zoom you guys in, and it looks like it's a 1.6 gigahertz G4. much more powerful than what came with this machine originally, and 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. Let's just take a look at some more of the system specs. Excuse me. So, as I said, there's the processor right there. So it's a 1.6 gigahertz. It's a single processor, so a single core right there. With the RAM, excuse me, I'll just zoom you out a little. And if you take a look, we have 128 megabytes Radeon 9000 Pro, so that should work just fine. And here we go. So 3 of the 4 slots are taken with 512 megabytes, 6 of RAM. I might have something that's put in here to get it to 2 gigahertz. I don't think there is no airport card. So I'm pretty pleased with myself. I paid about $70 Canadian for this machine. It seems to be working perfectly fine. Plus, it came with a free OS X server install on one of the drives. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next one.